when they are consuming your minds and your thoughts and your dreams, from the angels to the demons and to the mysteries unseen, there is no need to worry. There is no need for dread. It's just time to discuss the thing at the foot of the bed.
Good evening, everyone. And if you're just tuning in, you're listening to UFO Paranormal and United Public Radio Network. And this is the thing at the foot of the bed. Give me 1 sec, guys. I'm just getting TikTok going here. It'll take me just 1 sec. It always does. I can't do it till after we go live. So hang on. I got to add it up here. And I thank you for your patience with this, but there's no other way to do it. So we got to do it this way. I could see some of you in the chat. We're going to say hello once we get all the housekeeping out of the way. So just hang tight for 1 sec. I didn't even start Instagram. Oh, wait, I did already. Good. Okay. So like I said, this is the thing at the foot of the bed. I'm one of your hosts, Lorilei Potvin. David Hanzel is my co-host here. He'll take over some of the stuff. I get most of the housekeeping out of the way. A little bit about myself. I do have a show on Monday nights here from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with the Angel Rock, and I am a Canadian psychic medium, crystal Reiki energy healer, Akashic Records practitioner, a spiritual teacher and mentor, as well as registered nurse. I'm an animal communicator. I'm well versed in near-death experiences, having had one as a toddler, and I've studied them professionally and personally for over 40 years. And lastly, very well versed in the paranormal. I always say I didn't go looking for it. It found us. And we've shared our story on the Travel Channel for Paranormal Survivors, Season 4, Episode 9. I did not name it, but it's called Demonic Hauntings. And actually, you can find that even on YouTube, Netflix, all over the place. What else do I want to tell you guys? If you guys want to watch us, we would love for you to watch us. 80% of our audience is audio only. And this network does broadcast to every country in the world, potentially, whoever's listening. So I always say, if you can't see us, you can't join the conversation. And we always have such a great live audience here. And if you know about the Angel Rock or this show, both shows are very audience participative, and we love to make you part of the show. So how you can do that, big announcement tonight, guys. If you're looking for us on UFO Paranormal and United Public Radio on YouTube, right now we don't have that channel, but we do have a backup channel. So where we're broadcasting tonight is UFO Gods and Extraterrestrials, but it's much easier. You can go to my YouTube, which is the Angel Rock with Lorilei Potvin. David will tell you about his in a minute. You can also watch us on my Facebook profile. It's public, so anybody can join in. You don't have to be on my friends list. We are on LinkedIn under the Angel Rock. We are on the UFO Paranormal United Public Radio Network Twitch channel. Let's see, we are also on the Angel Rock with Instagram. Now, just so you guys know, they don't integrate the comments from, I see Lady Fantasia. Hello there. I'm so glad you could join us over on Instagram. It cuts off after an hour. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. So you might be safer to go to one of the other platforms. It's up to you. But if it cuts off, because this show is a 2-hour show, just so you know, we didn't go anywhere. We're still broadcasting. And I do pop back and forth between Instagram. I figured out a hack for TikTok. I think this is the only show on the network that is presently, I could be wrong, but that I'm aware of, that is broadcasting over on TikTok too. So we're on the Angel Rock on TikTok. And I want to give a shout out to my mod over there. I've got Michelle Wilfong. She usually pops up in a few minutes. I haven't gone through the comments yet. She's an amazing mod over there. She manages things greatly. That just reminded me I should put up the live comments so I can see that as well. So give me 1 sec, guys. Come on up there. Don't play around with me here. Let's see. Open live monitor. And you guys check out her TikTok channel. She lives in a haunted apartment, and she films multiple videos daily of the activity in her place. And check her out. Give her some support, because she's a big support to me on the Angel Rock and us both here when we're broadcasting over on TikTok. So did I forget it? Oh yes. Also, we are on Rumble. Again, Yeah, just TikTok and Instagram. Don't put the comments in. So I didn't, the name, it's an old account. It's under Mystique 1508. As I always say, it's not a stripper name. It's actually from X-Men. So you can find us over there. Also, if you guys like what you see, please like, share, and subscribe. Tell all your friends and family. I am hoping my voice is going to hold out tonight, guys. I am still sick, but we're here. We wanted to hang out with you guys. So, like I said, if you like what you see, please share, subscribe, tell all your friends about it. It's not all just UFO and paranormal. We're up to about 40 live hosts on the network, so we stream multiple shows daily, 7 days a week. And when we're not streaming live, the archives server goes into the last 25 plus years we've been around as a network and randomly plays shows from the past, from other hosts. So we really are live 24/7. So check it out. And like I say, help us out. Tell everybody about us. We love when we have new people joining the chat or watching other shows. I want to make sure I gave you guys everything. Oh, yes. Lastly, if you guys want to watch us on TV, the network does have a TV channel. You're going to go to Roku. You're going to go to the channel store, and you're going to be typing in UFO space P as in paranormal. You're looking for UFO Paranormal and United Public Radio. It's in the drop-down list when you type that in. I think we're the third or fourth one down. So if you click on there, you can watch us on TV. I think I remembered everything. Dave, go ahead and take it away, and then we'll say hi to everybody.
Yeah, I think you got it. Hi, everybody. My name is David Hanzel. I am a medium and a channel and guide, I guess you could call me, and animal communicator, all that fun stuff. But the same kind of things. Me and Lorilei pretty much do about the same thing, back and forth. It's good to see you guys. I want to remind you that anybody who's listening, to please go ahead and make sure that you join our Facebook group. It's called The Thing at the Foot of the Bed with Lorilei Potvin and David Hanzel. We have a lot of followers there. Listen, me and Lorilei are going through a few things. When we're done going through these, we will do some lives in there and have some fun with you guys. We're just kind of sorting things out right now, and we're getting there. But so please go ahead and join that. You can go ahead and you can play videos on there. You can any stories that you have, anything that we show here, Lorilei is always kind enough to put them in the group for you. Yeah. So if we're watching something here and you can't see it because you're a listener, remember, if you join the group, Lorilei would have, she's like Santa Claus. She comes down the chimney and she puts it into the excuse me. And then we have that, and then you can watch it.
I love Santa.
Yeah. I know. It's like Santa, so why not? Yeah. So that's it for that. Right now, we're just going to kind of say hi to. I am right now. If you're watching me, the way everything's going on right now, if you want to watch us live on my stuff, you can watch me on the Spirit Experience on YouTube right now, along with Lorilei's channels. Those are probably the best places for now until the little things get sorted out. I'll be back up on my Facebook. I'll be doing it on my Facebook again, probably next week. I'll be able to put it back on there again. Actually, it was kind of funny. It kind of almost blocked it out for me, Lorilei, and I don't know why. Mm-hmm. So things got reshuffled. But it'll be back up. It'll be back up because everything else, like I said, make sure you join our group and all that fun stuff. And while you're in the audience, you guys, this show, Lorilei and I, we love for you guys to interact. So no matter what we were talking about, if you have something else you would like us to shift to, we are all about the shift. We are all about the shift. We will go right over. And if we don't know it at the end, Lorilei and I have a habit of going to look it up and investigate.
But there's not much that we don't know about. I was just talking to someone today, and I said they got us with the Appalachian stuff with the Haints. And so what do we tell them? Yeah, but we said we'll come back next week and we're going to talk about it. We did. So, I'm just going to say. Oh, go ahead. You're going to say something.
Somebody else in our group. I don't want to make you try to remember, but I had popped in our group the other day. I've been so busy, guys. I popped in our group and somebody had put another something. I think it was Nicole Thomas Ryan had put something in there about that old lady, and I made a joke on there. There's an old lady sitting in a chair.
Yeah, I saw it. Yeah.
What was that called?
I can't remember. I'm going to pull it up. There was somebody else that posted a video that looked really creepy and scary, and I'm glad you posted it. And I was going to comment on it, and I didn't want it. You know what? I dislike text. If anybody knows me and you interact with me, I talk to so many people all day long, and my phone thinks it knows how to spell better than me. And I spend more minutes trying to correct it. It's just easier to voice message, because text, the meaning and the context is lost, right? So I just thought of it now when you brought that up, Dave, that there's a video in there I wanted to address because it looks like it's pretty spooky activity. And we will never tell you what to think, but we'll certainly give you some opinions on it. So give me a minute, Dave. I just want to say hi. We'll say hi to people first.
Yeah, let's say hi to everyone.
So we got Dr. Frederick Woodard over on Instagram. He's been on the Angel Rock multiple times. I've seen some beautiful pictures of his black German Shepherd. If you guys know, Emmy pops up here usually, and my cat, she's at the foot of the bed. She may show up. You never know. So that's what's at the foot of my bed tonight. Not a thing. Anyways, I want to say hi to him. Let's see if we got TikTok, anybody hanging out, people just popping and saying hello. Hang around, guys. You guys put your comments and questions over on TikTok. We will make you guys part of the show as well. And the more, the merrier. So we got Howie Odell says, hello, Tips Top Hat. We got to give Howie a huge shout out. He has the Riff Nation Network. He is a huge supporter of our network here. You know what I did forget to tell you guys, that we broadcast out of 105.3 FM out of Mississippi and 107.7 FM out of New Orleans, Louisiana. And that's actually where we're broadcasting from. I'm in actually Thunder Bay, only smaller city, Ontario, Canada. Dave's in North Carolina. Beauty of the internet. So anyways, Howie also has his own show called The Orion Effect that Dave and I have been on a few times. He has an amazing co-host, Rhonda Harris, who's become a very good friend. So I want to give him a shout out because he really does support our network a lot. Got Julie Jean Bassett. I'm also going to give her a shout out. You guys, check her out. She is an incredible animal communicator, especially with what we've been going through at my house over the last few weeks. And my animals haven't been quite able to understand. I reached out to Julie and she really did help, and she always does. And whether you believe in it or not, if you've got animal behavior problems, you've tried everything, what have you got to lose? Check it out. She is so knowledgeable. She is also an incredible shamanic practitioner. And I've had a session with her and it was life-changing. So check her out at juliejeanbassett.com. I don't know if her website's saying the same, but right now it is. And she's going to update me when it's new, but check her out, guys. So Heidi Gall. Hi, David. Hi, Lorilei. Much love from Boulder. Contessa Martins is here. Hi, Connie. Jackie Lane. Who else have we got? Leslie 1266. We got Raven 62. Let's see, Marissa Burrill. Let's see. Howie says, if it's the video, I think it is. I have input. You do you, Howie? I have input. Oh, we got Lisa Martinello. Hello. And speaking of Nicole Thomas Ryan, were your ears burning, or did you hear me give you a shout out? And I know there'll be more people coming along through here. So let's pull up those videos, Dave, because I can't remember. I've heard of this. Okay, I've heard of this before. So if you guys are a member in the group, give me a sec. I'm going to pull it up in our group on Facebook here. And like I said, come join us because we like show ideas too, you guys. Any kinds of questions. Dave and I we're not experts, but we've been doing this a long time. And so from our own life experiences and what we receive from spirit, we don't always agree, which is a good thing. We don't fight about it.
No, we have fun. We like to say that the more that when you hear us disagree, we're doing that because we want you to be able to do that with people in real life too, because that's how we get to stuff. Because both of us have changed our minds on things. Mm-hmm.
Oh, so, absolutely.
But we got to listen to everybody. So that's the whole thing.
So I'm going to read. Nicole Thomas Ryan posted this. I hope I say this properly. Siguapa, have you heard of them? And there's a post here. It says Siguapa. The Siguapa is a creature of the Dominican Republic. She is clothed in nothing but her hair. Kind of sounds like Lady Godiva. And it says the Siguapa is said only to be able to chirp, not talk. Locals say she will seduce men. Oh, that's it. Oh, don't let me forget, Dave. Something came up too from Selena's Spooky Boo about the Irish woman that married who she thought was Jack Sparrow. It's quite interesting, this interview. It's not that long, so remind me to pull that up. So anyways, where was I? She said, locals say she will seduce men who see her as beautiful. Then she will lead them into the mountains where they are not heard from ever again. The Siguapa's feet are on backwards. Well, that should be a clue, wouldn't it? But she has no clothes on, so I guess she's counting on men looking at everything but her feet. Yeah. And it says, my grandmother's brother told our family of finding one back in the 1950s. She had a wound on her leg and was heavily pregnant. He said she cried and pointed to her belly, so he gave her some water and moved on. He described her as a beautiful native woman with long dark hair and a short-statured and she had backwards feet. So has anybody heard of this before?
No, but I can understand why she's a demon. If I had backwards feet, that would be kind of annoying, wouldn't it?
To me, there has to be some type of truth, though, because when you go through different cultures, right?
Well, yeah, I agree. There's some kind of truth.
No, but you've heard of there's an incubus and a succubus. I'm named after, I'm not German, but there's mythology about the sirens named the Lorilei that used to sing atop the cliffs to lure sailors to crash to their death. Like there's always something about a woman. There's also a man, but it exists in different lore, history, and cultures. So there's got to be something to, whether this is the truthful stuff of it. Is it a tulpa? Like people believe in it. They've, passed down through generations. So energetically, this is kind of sort of appeared. I don't know.
Yeah. I told you about that one tulpa. The first time when I heard about tulpas, it was a woman. It was a woman who, I think it was. Oh, was it a woman? I think it was a woman, and she kept imagining she wanted to produce a tulpa to see if it was real, and she produced a tulpa, and his name actually was David Neal. It's in there.
Oh, Dave.
And that's my name.
You should probably tell people what a tulpa is for people listening who may not know.
My name is David Neal Hanzel. A tulpa is something that is generated by thought. And the more that it's thought about, because all of our thoughts get put into action. So if you think about a building, like, a certain type of building, if you grab some pen and paper and started drawing it, eventually that building's going to be built someplace, okay? Because it's coming out of thought. That's kind of what a tulpa is as well. Well, she always imagined this little like friar type guy that she does, and she named him David Neal. He was a monk. And she didn't know, she was just thinking about him all the time, and she didn't know about it until somebody walked up to her and said, "Hey, did you see that little weird guy that's been running around town?" And she was like, "No, he's a little monk. And he's just kind of doesn't say anything. He just bows in, bows out." And she's like, "That's the little dude." If you think about something in so much detail, it's possible that it can come to fruition. That's why me and Lorilei sometimes we agree on this one.
Well, I'm going to add more to it, Dave, a little bit more.
Like people are seeing it so much that they're doing it. But yeah, add to that, Lorilei.
Okay, sorry. We have a bit of a delay, you guys new. So sometimes we end up talking. I think there's a pause. Okay, so my belief what a tulpa is, if we go back to that, energy can neither be created nor destroyed. It can be transferred from one place to another. And the thing is, right, everything is energy, vibration, and frequency. That's not even woo-woo. You can look into the work of Tesla and many like him. Okay, so energy can be anything. I agree. Talking about it, thinking about it, anything that you can add any type of attention, we'll say attention, which is energy. More people talk about it, more people believing in it, the thoughts, everything. So I wanted to add that it's a collective of energy that eventually is able to take a physical form. That's all I wanted to add.
So when we talked about backwards feet, I found that fascinating. Why demons have backwards feet? Guess what? It's a thing. Why they have backwards feet.
I've seen babies born working in the NICU with that, so it could happen.
As far as like demons, though, having backwards feet, that's what I'm talking about. In the mythology, I guess there's a lot that do.
The one in my house didn't have backwards feet, I can tell you that.
Oh my God, right? Well, the backwards feet are clear deviation from the human norm. That's why sometimes we're afraid of that. Deception and trickery. That some traditions, demons are associated with deceit and trickery. So having their feet on backwards is a way of deceiving people. Connection to the underworld or inversion, which that used to be said. I remember there was a psychic, what was her name? I can't think of her name. Sylvia Brown. In her book, she wrote that our human bodies are exactly the same after death, except our organs are on the opposite side of where they are now. I mean, whatever gets you through the day. But that's a mirror effect, which I do believe in that. Maybe she meant it in a different way because we do have a mirror effect, how we see ourselves in the mirror.
The way I look at it is, okay, and explaining it very simplistically. Anything that is lower vibrational, fear. So you're going to see someone with backwards feet, and you're probably going to get a bit of a jump. And just the description here, right? It's going to get you thinking. But fear, anger, depression, sadness, anything like that is basically, if you want to call it a food source, to something that's lower vibrational, and we don't have to call it a demon. We can call it whatever you want. But there, we live in a duality here on earth. So wherever we have something, there's going to be an opposite. And I always say, most people aren't, not everybody, I should say, is not running around thinking love and light. And then again, you go back to the energy, right? It can't go anywhere. It can't be created. It's got to go somewhere. Plus, we have different dimensions too, right? So,
exactly, and that's very true. Neither can be created or destroyed. So the only thing is transmuting it. But then that's alchemy, and that's a whole other show.
I guess you could, alchemy, I would look at it as changing. I guess you could, yes. Alchemy is a completely different thing though, right? Like
the whole
alchemy.
Yeah, that's what I said. It's a whole other show.
This link did not show up for me. I have no idea why it did not for this reel. I would like to show this clip that Heidi shared with us. I'll try it again. It literally sent 3 letters through to me. I have no idea why. Let me see what it'll do, if it'll send it again. It might be because our group is private. So Heidi, do you know where you found that link? Because if you can send me the link, I will put it up here for everybody to see. Yeah, it just keeps sending me these weird letters. So I would love to show it to people so that it'll be better if you can.
Like you said, it could be where she got it from. It might be in a private.
No, it's because we're in a private group. You can't share links from the private group, right? Yeah. So I think that's why I was thinking, because we were a member, that maybe we could get it. Oh, Howie, if you got the link, can you send it to me by any chance, please? And then that way we can put it up for everybody to see. Because there's a few channels out there like this, and I think it bears talking about, and I think it's a good topic to discuss while we're waiting. I'm sure Howie will send it to me, because have you seen it? You've seen that video, Dave, with the British girl and the.
I didn't get to see it yet. No.
Yeah, there's I was having a chat with my partner Del today about this, and I was saying there are some channels out there, and I know they serve a purpose to take a look at some paranormal activity caught on camera. But this guy, I'm sorry, dude, and I no hatred, no negative juju in any way, but his name is Beardo, and he is so mean. He's really mean about people putting their stuff out there. You said I dated directly from Facebook Reels to the group. Yeah, that's what I'm wondering. Did you save it by any chance, Heidi? Because I haven't got a name if I could find it. It's not your fault. It's because it's a private group. That's why. I know it is. Let me see if I can find the name on there. If I can find where the name is, I might be able to find it. And I have the same problem with the Angel Rock and Paranormal University. Okay, thanks, Heidi. If you can find it, because I didn't. Wait, here's Getting Crazy. Let's see if we can find that on Facebook. Okay, while we're talking.
Getting Crazy. I'll tell you what. While you're looking for it, I just want to tell somebody interesting, and you too, Lorilei. I had decided today. I found the Gateway tapes. I am going to go through all the Gateway tapes.
Okay.
And I started today. So do you know what those are?
You have to tell me a bit more.
It's by the Silva Mind Control. The guy, remember the Silva way of learning? And Okay, yeah. He's the one who made the Gateway tapes. All it is basically putting yourself into different meditations and different consciousnesses during these. But you got to go through these tapes. They're a mixture of the ohms, the earths, and the beats, the binaural beats, and voices going back and forth, and the instruction. So I'm just going through it. A lot of people who've done it have claimed that they got some really cool stuff from it. So I'm going to do one. I'm probably going to try to do one every day.
Oh, that's cool. Well, you can maybe share that in a group for people and let them see if they want to know more about it. So I did get the video, you guys. We're going to play it. It's okay. It's okay, Heidi. Howie got it. He sent it. So we're good. Thank you, though, because I think it's worth talking about. So hang on. Let me get to it. I know it's a bit small, but give me the date. I just seen Howie said something here. Hang on. Now you know I'm going to come from the skeptic and debunk. Well, that's where I'm coming from, Howie, and I'm sure Dave will too. Spoke with my whole team about this. Julie Jean Bassett, she said that sounds very interesting, David. So it'd probably be a good thing to share, Dave, if you're comfortable with it.
Oh yeah, I'll tell you my findings.
Okay, point of view, it says you finally found the page you've been looking for. We were looking for this page. And it says fear's getting crazy. Okay, so I'm going to put the volumes on. I'm going to play it. We'll play it. It's not that long, so I may play it twice, depending. So see.
Ever today. I'm still a bit shaken. This is what my dad's camera caught of my reaction. We have captured one of the most scariest videos ever today. I'm still a bit shaken. This is what my dad's camera caught of my reaction. Dad? Dad? Oh my God. Dad? Dad! And this is what my camera caught of my dad.
Oh.
You roasting? What are you on about?
I really bad one. Freezing. I'm really too.
I'm roasting.
I think this is longer than the clip Heidi shared, but that's okay. Well,
You know what? Dad? 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 Oh my God. Dad? Dad! We have captured one of the most scariest.
Stop sharing. Just let me click this off. I don't know. Okay, so I am just going to add my 2 cents worth, Dave, and I know we're going to talk about. Okay, Lisa, what it is she's sitting there using a ghost box. They claim their place is haunted, and so they showed 2 different camera angles, which I don't know why they would, because they've been apparently going through this for quite a while. So why would you have 2 separate camera angles? You can't see the big picture. Plus, so what she's saying, like, I know how we're going to get there. I saw that too. I'll read it. I'll comment in a second. So what happened was she was trying to communicate, it looks like, with spirits from what I could see, using a ghost box. And her dad was across the other end of the table. And then you see her going, Dad, Dad, and you hear the scream and everything clears off the table. And then all of a sudden we get to see the dad's view from the other side. And I'm sorry, I never usually call this and I don't want to put any shade on anybody that shared this video. I think it's a great discussion place to have a good chat. Is the fact that when I first seen these videos a couple of years ago, this is a newer one. They've been doing this for a while. I was concerned for them. I thought, oh my goodness, they're going through a lot of activity. But when you start to watch, and I don't remember what their channel is, one after another, you start to see there's something fishy about this. And Howie just said, no, Heidi, no shade on you. I'm glad you shared it. And so Howie said, do you want to read their comment, Dave? Because I'm talking so much here. So go ahead.
Sure. Howie says the face changes. Okay, software. So we're talking about that. I know what Lorilai's going to say, because there's one thing Lorilei both and I do that we take into consideration when we watch videos is we see what they normally post. So like Lorilei said, she was familiar with these guys. So actually she thought she gave them the benefit of the doubt because she was familiar and that's the stuff they're posting. Now I saw that video earlier today for the first time. I didn't see it on her page. It actually showed itself to me. I found it. And the first thing I did before I even finished watching the whole thing is I went to go look at the page to see what they normally posted. And it was normally paranormal stuff. Whenever I see that, it's not necessarily a red flag, but it tells me that it's for a particular audience. So that's what I get. And I get what Lorilei said. As far as like Howie said about the face change, if anybody noticed.
He's got some more comments and we can go over these.
No, we're getting all of them. Yeah. You go ahead and pop them up, Lorilei, and I'll read them off so you don't have to.
Oh, I'm okay. I just want to keep talking and not give you a chance. Hi, Michael Angley. Nice to see you here. So Heidi, you added, I'm not following that page, but I watched a few times and still get goosebumps. Not saying it's completely authentic. AI is easily accessible, just creepy. No, but I thought it was a good post to have this conversation, Heidi.
Yeah.
And I was going to comment on it. And then I thought, no, let's talk about it tonight because I'm telling you, when I seen these people a few years ago, I was a little concerned the first few clips because they're on TikTok too. And then as I watched more and more, the thing is, right, like if you've been going through a haunting, and actually my partner Del and I had a conversation about this today. You know, when something's perfectly framed in frame and the camera's just there, I'm not saying it can't happen. There could be many reasons, right? A lot of activity happens in that area. There's many things. But for example, in our previous home, we had a camera where most of the activity was, but it pretty well took most of the room in with the camera and nothing was ever perfectly framed. If it happened kind of thing. So that always gets my wheels turning a little bit. So the fact that you showed yourself and the way that stuff all flew off, could it happen? Yes, if there was enough energy. But it was so sus, the dad with that face. It's scary. So I'm not making fun of anybody, but I know these people notoriously, and they may be experiencing activity. I don't live in their home, but whatever they're showing, and if you watch more and more of them, you will see it's the same stuff. Go ahead, Dave. I know you were going to say something.
Oh, yeah. I wanted to add to this, and something that a lot of you probably don't know, but from age 32 to age 45 in my years, I first studied improv and method acting at Second City in Chicago. So I studied acting and all that stuff. When I watched this, her acting was decent. His was absolutely atrocious. I caught that right away when he was doing it. That's just not a way people act. A lot of in debunking videos are not only noticing like what Lorilei was just talking about, but noticing how people are responding to things, psychology-wise, how we respond to things in real life. But that's not to say some people might get more scared than others, and some people might not. So you can't always gauge it off that. I'm not saying I'm perfect. These are just some of the stuff we use, and I agree. It's a good video to bring up, just so people don't have an unnecessary fear. Does that make sense?
No, but I think you have to have an open mind. Like I said, when I first saw this, I was very concerned for these people. We talked about somebody else on here on TikTok. It was a guy that was a magician. And she was pregnant. She was blonde, and she seemed like she was really affected by some kind of spirit. And there was no problem with the acting. And I've seen some pretty good acting. But who went there actually was Paranormal Nightmare. Because they'd gotten so many messages about this couple. And then they realized when they went there, they actually got duped, and they were honest about it. They were kind. And they said this activity has been because we didn't see anything like that. We did see a few things that were sus. So this is another couple. Again, I'm not the first person to call people out because I had people do horrible things and say horrible things to me when we were going through what we were going through. And then all of a sudden, because it was on Paranormal Survivor, everybody believed us. And I documented things. So I'm very careful to call someone fake. So I'm not saying they're fake, but that video is very suspect. And I think we always have to have the skeptic in us debunk everything possible. But to me, and you wouldn't have known this because I can't remember what the name of their channel is. You'd shared it, Heidi, and I'm glad you did, because when you look at their videos, if you can find their channel, maybe somebody will know the name of the channel. But when you start watching the videos, you start going, holy cow, yeah, this is a little sus. Like I'm saying, when you have a lot of activity like we did in our previous home, there just wasn't a little camera angle. And then someone was filming from another angle and someone was filming from another angle. The cameras were set up to just take in like the whole room if it could, and if it was just on the corner, it was on the corner. You see what I'm saying? If something happened, it wasn't perfectly in frame and Yeah. So hi, Kasoon. Welcome.
I agree. That was another one that I looked at too, and that's like you said, it's not something I would always tag, but the fact that everything is perfectly in frame. I wish there was one earlier I saw too. A guy was on, and I wish I would have saved it. It was short, but this gentleman said he's at his girlfriend's house. She has complained that he was like down in the basement part, and her complaint was whenever she was downstairs, it sounded like somebody was walking around upstairs. Which I'm going to say, if you're alone and all that, really, creaks can sound like people walking, but that is something to be afraid of, whether it's a creak or not. I mean, I'm afraid if I hear a ton of big noises in my house, even doing what I do, it still startles me. You know,
I'm not saying you can't have activity. I can tell you what we've been through for the last couple of weeks, and Dell is the biggest skeptic out there. It's been very well known that somebody we've lost there's no other explanation. You can hear them.
They're there.
You can still have activity, but again, I wish I was trying to find the name of this channel because if I showed a few more videos, you guys would see. I'm going to pull up another one to give you a little bit of idea, but I will read Howie's comment. But I wanted to say hi. I did say hi to Michael Angley. We've got Kasoon. I see that Shannon K. Casey is here. So Sean's probably in the background. Hello. And we've got Donna Thu. Welcome. Do you want to read Howie's comment?
Yeah. Howie had stated on that video we just watched, he said that the table moves slightly and you can see it and you can see it and it's fishy. The look, the speech, the shaking of the table. If Howie was seeing the same thing I am, usually in something scripted, because I write a lot of stories and stuff too, there's a script to it. And that one literally had a script to it. Now I like Lorilei though, I have to say, you guys, one day you're going to have to ask Lorilei to tell you her story and not watch it on TV, because I think that the TV doesn't do it justice. It doesn't.
Nothing happened like they showed it.
Yeah, the story is real.
And Michelle DeRoche is in that episode, so you guys know she's coming up right after us with the second night of the Outer Realm with Amelia Pisano. I did not know Michelle then. Like, we never got to meet anybody. We had no control over, and we're not ungrateful. We're very grateful they did share our story. But I can tell you, the only thing that happened, and they made it look like it happened very close together. This did not. I'm writing a book actually about our experience.
Oh, there you go.
And the other thing is, the ending, though, was very close to the way things happened. That was about the only thing I can say. So Howie says it is creepy. That's why I took it to my society in discussion for training. He says, I agree with Heidi. Also,
you made a really good point a minute ago about something, and I want everybody to hear this point because I think it was really good. When Lorilei was telling you about her thing, she said, it didn't happen in that short period of time. It happened over a span of time. That's the same thing, you guys, when you watch a paranormal investigation or something, if it's not live, you're seeing the condensed version. So it may seem like things come up one after the other. It doesn't make it less scary, but there's a lot more to it. You got to remember, for somebody like Lorilei who went through it, you was just seeing something fast on 41 minutes, but she literally had to go through emotions and feelings during this thing that was long, which also makes the experience a lot more valuable.
I have documented stuff. It wasn't just our family. If you go over, and Howie will back me up on this because I've known Howie for years from this, over on Paranormal Soup. Jason Bland has an amazing show Sunday nights, 11 p.m. to 2 a.m. Eastern, and he broadcasts on Facebook and YouTube. I used to call into his show every week because he always had experts. I mean, I didn't go looking for the paranormal. It really did find us. So I started from not knowing anything. Like, this became like a full-time job for me because I didn't know what the heck was going on. Like, why was this happening? My partner was thrown 15 feet across the kitchen. I mean, we've been burnt, scratched, bit, like all kinds of crazy stuff. And we're going, what the heck is going on here? And so I started locally, then I started province-wise, then I went through Canada, then all through the US, and then I went globally looking for answers. But the reason I mentioned Jason's show, never mind, he's been such a help. I have some incredible live EVPs that I called in that were not planned, that you can hear literal language and a conversation. The voice is creepier than I'll get out. But you can go back through some of his older videos if he still has them up, and you can see what's going on behind me as I'm on Skype talking live on the show. So it, like I said, I wasn't making this up, but that's why I'm very careful to say to people, you're a fake. Because I know what I've told you guys this story before. I had one idiot, I called in and he said, well, why don't you give me a call tomorrow? And I really felt weird about it. And with being, a psychic medium, I don't hear voices, but that inner mind chatter saying, you might want to record this. And I'm arguing with it going, I'm not going to record it. I don't record people when I talk to them. I wish I had. Because he didn't even see anything of ours. He blamed this all on me, that I basically wanted attention. He diagnosed me, not even knowing I'm a nurse, with, you guys have heard this before, intergalactic satellite goldfish. And I am working on a t-shirt with that, by the way, you guys, I have been. And so I'm very careful to say, but when it's obvious, once you start to watch more. But I thought this was a great teaching point. I want to say hi to Skywalker, Shaden Freud. I hope I say that right. Freud, welcome. But there's another channel out there.
John Freud.
I followed for a long time, and I was very concerned with what they were going through. They've been on YouTube for years, and it's really haunted over in the UK. Now, after a while, I kept thinking, why is this guy not getting any help? Like, people were saying, hi, Michelle, Christine. Hello, Jennifer M. Nice to see you. Heidi says she has to drive, so she'll be listening. Please drive safe. My point is, things started to look suspect. And then you found out what the guy did, and you did a little bit of digging before this all happened. And he was trying to say he was haunted by the ghost of Vlad the Impaler. And he's a video editor. He's a video special effects editor. Then as his children got older, his daughter has come out and actually outed him. This is how he makes his living. Then he was going to quit because his daughter's, she probably has had the baby already. I don't watch the channel anymore, but I'd seen through different other avenues, the daughter who outed him that this is all fake that he's been doing, that she was moving back home. She was having a baby. So he didn't want to expose the baby to any of this. So he's quitting. He's still on YouTube. And you can watch some of his videos. They're pretty convincing, some of them, at least some of the older ones. I haven't watched them in a long time. That's another one out there that's doing that. Makes money off of it.
Yeah, that was the guy with his daughter. Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up. I saw that one too. They had a TikTok too.
Oh yeah, they're all. He's been doing it for years. And like I say, when I first saw him, I was concerned because there was nothing really radical happening, like maybe something being thrown across the kitchen or, nothing really radical. But the story just gets crazy. Like if you guys want to get into a story and watch, like it is absolute insanity when you step back and you look at the whole picture over the years and the story he's been telling. And like he took a haunted brick from Romania on a vacation with his wife. He said in the spirit of Vlad the Impaler, came back. I mean, could it happen? Yes. But his own family outed him. So
that's hilarious. I had a dude on TikTok one time. He had this video and he didn't have a lot of followers. I watched the videos to see what's going on. And I don't comment right away, but this guy kept the same silly type video. But anyway, he had this drawer open and closed and of course, Lorilei, you would have laughed so hard. He had one of those voices. Remember that guy's voice that we hate when he does the YouTube video? And he has weird
chills.
Yeah. This guy did the same thing, trying to make one drawer opening and closing into some big poltergeist thing. And so I came back and I said, can I ask you, I said, I'm not being asked, but what makes you think it's a poltergeist? Mm-hmm. He's like, oh, it opened the drawers and it does this in my house. I'm like, but I mean, did it like break on some room? Did it scratch you? Did it try to possess you? Did it do something weird like that? No, it's the drawer. I said, that's just a ghost, dude. And then he came back and he was really nice. He goes, so that's not a poltergeist? I'm like, I'm not saying that. I'm not in your house. But I said, poltergeist is basically noisy ghost. You would think of a poltergeist as being a little bit more disturbing, like maybe they don't want you there or something like that.
They can get pretty violent. It can get
or get violent. I would say that's a poltergeist. But I mean, like in my house, Lorilei was the first one. She told me too. She felt stuff in my house right before I moved in, and she was right. There is stuff in here, but it's not mean. It's just
Well, that's
here.
the problem, though, right? Like, it's a double-edged sword with the fact
Yeah.
that, you know, before the advent of paranormal TV and all of this, right? Nobody would really talk too much about it. Decades ago, it was all the rage in the 20s and 30s, right?
yeah.
With the whole, you want to call it spiritual kind of ghosty movement. And then it kind of went underground. So I'm happy that it's sort of come more to the forefront so people can talk a little bit more easier about it. But the problem is, and I always say a little bit of knowledge is dangerous. So if all you do is watch a television show and you're a fan of it, I've been guilty of it over the years myself. You get one skewed view, and then all you hear is demon, demon, demon. It's a demon. It's a demon. It's a demon. So everything becomes a demon. And I'm going to tell you that they're not hopping around all over the place hoping to hop into.
They're actually, for me,
Let me finish this thought, Dave. Let me finish this thought. Just one thing. Sorry, like I said, we've got a delay. All I was going to say is there's many reasons why it, depending on how old your house is, what happened on the land, and there could be many reasons why you're having activity. It doesn't mean it's a demon or a poltergeist. That's all I was going to add. Go ahead, Dave. Sorry.
Oh no, that's true. Like people are thinking, I don't subscribe to the demon thing. Doesn't mean that I don't exist. Just means I don't subscribe to it. But I do have to think, like what Laura Lee was saying. One, demons, in actuality, are very far few and in between.
Welcome.
And so are remember, if you ever give me and Laura Lee a video and go, hey, you guys check out the Skinwalker, I guarantee you, we are going to be like, no. That's it.
Well, I'll watch it, but that's the big buzzword lately. Is it seems everything's a skinwalker. I'm sorry, but that's all I've heard about lately. And maybe
I went to Walmart yesterday and I saw this woman in these pink boots and this green jacket. She's a skinwalker. I know she was.
Well, actually, no, it just seems like all the bigger paranormal YouTube channels, and it's kind of dying down, but over the last year and a half, everything's a skinwalker. Everything.
Yeah, it was a big old trend for a while. Do you have more videos to watch?
I do. So there was one. I know I told you. See, my memory is not working.
By the way, real quick, mid-station break here, my dear.
Okay, well, I will do that. Yeah. So you guys, if you're just tuning in, you are listening to 105.3 FM out of Mississippi and 107.7 FM out of the beautiful city of New Orleans, Louisiana, where we are broadcasting from. This is UFO Paranormal and United Public Radio Network, and you're listening to or watching The Thing at the Foot of the Bed. I'm one of your hosts, Lorilei Potvin, and my friend and excellent co-host is David Hanzel to the right of me. Also, if you guys are trying to find us on our main YouTube channel, which is UFO Paranormal and United Public Radio Network, we don't have it up at the moment. Not going to get into it. Hopefully we can get that resolved. But you can watch us on our secondary channel, which is UFO Gods and Extraterrestrials. That's our backup channel. Or we're on Dave's YouTube channel, which is The Spirit Experience. And we're on my YouTube channel, which is The Angel Rock with Lorilei Potvin. And I say YouTube because it just seems to be the easiest and fastest. So
it is. Can you pop Howie's up there?
I was, yeah.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to I like this, Howie. So for people listening, Howie Udell says, we only see 60% color and 40% of audio. So why would we think it was the D word when we don't know the average of what we don't know? That is 95% we don't know, which is absolutely true because Laura Lee has been through NDEs. I had one. Laura Lee studies them, and we will all tell you, that is true. You don't see everything here. There's stuff I've seen and heard. There's no way for me to describe it. So there is stuff here that we haven't seen either. And we can't. Plus,
the other thing people never realize, right? It's 3 a.m. somewhere in the world. Yes, I will agree. Sometimes the veil's a little thinner, but what people don't realize is the same amount of paranormal activity goes on in the daylight as it does at night. Just we're not paying attention.
I know. Laura Lee's like almost before Laura Lee. I hardly ever met anybody who would go into an investigative place during the day. I would be all there for it. And the reason why, if you can investigate it during the day and find something, I think the evidence is a lot cooler because of the fact darkness, no matter what kind of human being you are, but when the lights are off and everything, our human beingness goes into that little bit of fear or uneasiness of the unknown thing. So if you are walking around,
It's quiet. It's dark, right? But daytime, you're busy. There's light all over the place. There's noise. There's traffic. So people don't tend to notice paranormal activity in the daytime. The other thing I wanted to add, Dave, and I forgot to build off the comment you were saying, and it was basically this, like you said, you made the point that paranormal activity, like even the story we shared, it didn't happen in this little window. And, not what you see on TV. I also want to add, how many police officers have you guys heard that have said stakeouts are one of the most boring things they've ever done because you sit there for hours and hours and hours and hours. Same thing sometimes a lot of times with paranormal activity. It's not what you see on TV.
Yeah, it's not. When I've been on investigations where we sat for we'll take our teams or separate off and we'll be sitting there for a good 2 hours, not saying a damn word, just looking around and maybe get a piece of evidence. And on a good night, between a lot of people, we'll get 4 or 5 really good pieces of evidence. But outside of that, it's not, in a perfect world, I'd love to walk in and just see them flying all over and take out my camera and they're posing for me and doing everything else. And that would be perfect. Then we could just prove it and get it done and over with. But I think some people just like the unknown as well. So I don't blame them for that. If that's what they like, that's fine.
Well, I'm going to read Howie's comment. He said, you don't have the contamination during nighttime as you do during the day. But I'm also going to build on what you said. And it really upsets me because especially if you have an earthbound spirit and it's human, right? They still have free will. If they are earthbound, that's usually what a ghost is a human being that for whatever reason hasn't crossed over. In simpler terms, it's much more complicated to explain, but in simpler terms. But I cannot stand the way people sometimes talk to spirit that's still earthbound. You're dead. And I've heard people get the comment back from the spirit.
No, you are.
So what? No, you are. Or the other thing is, you get some activity. So you ask them to repeat it and then repeat it and then repeat it. There's nothing wrong with asking, say, one more time, I think, because you want to make sure, like, was this what I thought it was? But I've seen people do this so many times. And you got to remember, I really believe we should be treating spirit the same way we would treat a fellow human being in front of us, okay? They're not trained monkeys. They're not here to perform for you. How would you feel if somebody kept saying to you, can you knock on that door? Okay, thank you. Can you knock on the door again? How about another time? We need to treat spirit, especially anything. You get a lot further with, what does it say? More bees with honey than you do with vinegar, right? You're going in the right frame of mind, going from a respectful position. I think you will get a little bit more interaction than you will from some of the...
I think so too. I'd like to tell teams that if you were to ask or you to do something like that, more or less you're going to get that information. I think that's going to be a lot better.
It's a pet peeve of mine, though, and a friend of mine, she had 2 teams, one on the West Coast and one on the East Coast, Clarissa Vasquez. And, we had written some articles for a paranormal, I wish it still existed. It was called the Paranormal Chronicles. It was a free magazine. And one of mine was How to Open Your Third Eye. I had written, and I recruited a few of my friends to come in from the spiritual. This was quite a few years ago. And Clarissa wrote an article, exactly what I just mentioned, about how we should be treating spirit or, whom we interact with when we're going on paranormal investigations. And I thought it was such a powerful interview or article. Because most people, I found, again, a little bit of knowledge is dangerous. And I can't blame people. You see stuff on TV and a lot of people get excited about it. And instead of learning more about it, what do? They tend to emulate what they've seen on TV too, right? So,
yep, exactly. You know what else? If you look at you said something earlier I went to a lab on, and that is how they see us a different way too. Metaphysically, we're literally all spirits and ghosts ourselves. So to I don't know exactly how they would see it, but to a spirit that we can't see. Also, did you hear that?
I did. Where did that come from? That was weird. You guys hear that? Let's mark it. What time is it? 8:06 p.m. We'll check it out. Anybody wants to clip that, you can.
That was right next to me. That's why I looked. I'm like, I only got a door next to me.
Mm-hmm. That would be
Anyway,
the first time we've had EVPs before. So
yeah, we had it before. Yeah, nothing wants me.
somebody wants to say hello. Howie goes, I heard that. 2006. Thanks, Howie. Yeah, we'll mark that one.
But yeah, we'll go back and look at it later. But yeah, to spirits, we would also be a spirit too, because the reason why, and I don't know how true this is, I'm just kind of giving it to you from my perception of it. But if you ever saw like a ghost hunting team go in and they're real sweet. I can't remember this one lady's name. She's like, I don't know if you know that you're here, whatever. She goes, there's a little ball here. If you want to touch it, that's how you do it. And she kind of taught them how to do it. Well, I was sitting there thinking to myself, this spirit might actually isn't really grasping that it is gone. And it's hearing a voice outside of its head telling him to do this, which makes sense. If I was sitting in my chair and all of a sudden this voice said, hey, David, you probably don't realize this, but you're not really doing a show. I'm like, why? What's up? It's like you're dead. Oh, wait, no, I'm not. Yeah, so they wanted to tell me. So who knows?
Well, it's the same thing that we've talked about this a few times on here. And I believe it is when we see residual activity. And for people that might not know, a lot of you will are in active chat. Go ahead, Dave.
I'm just checking my
Okay, residual activity is when something happens over and over and over on a loop. There's not any intro. It's literally like you're watching a movie. Okay. And with residual activity, I'm losing my train of thought as I'm reading these comments. Give me a sec, it'll come back. Roger says, "Hola, my dear friends." Connie says, "Is it something like the movie The Others with Nicole Kidman?" Yes, it could be. But where I was going with this is, okay, now I remember. One of the questions that I like to ask if I've had some interaction, or you might get an answer, say, from somebody that's an active spirit, is to be able to tell you, what do you see on the other side? We could be in the worst place, barely standing up in a bunch of rubble, but how do we know what they see from their perspective? That's what I was trying to remember. So maybe we are seeing it as the building once stood, right? We're not in their realm, and it really is literally like a micro thin veil, I believe. So what are they seeing on their side? Like people are going through, I know, old doorways, and they're walking through the wall. How do we know that it's not a doorway to them where they are?
Yeah, they might just be caught, and I don't want to say caught. We're not really caught. Everybody has the power to do something once you're aware of it.
Hi, Roger. Hi, Faye.
Hi, guys. What was I going to say? Yeah, I guess we're really not quite sure what they see from us. We can only really speculate until we remember when we go back. So I don't know how it is, but I think I saw the movie The Others. But I do agree with the whole. They might think that we're a ghost.
Hi, Vivra La Vie. Welcome. They're popping in. Say hi, guys. I haven't seen the movie, but I know the premise of the movie. But it's kind of like, guys, my memory is so terrible. I apologize right now. It just is what it is. But it's with Bruce Willis and the M. Night Shyamalan movie. When we sit, it said, I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, what is the name of that?
The very end is when you find out what really happens, right?
Yeah.
So
that's why. Yeah, that's why. That way it could be something like that. Yeah, right. That movie's not either.
No, but as I understand it, The Others is very similar to the fact that there's a complete turnaround from what you think Nicole Kidman and the children are in the movie. Thank you, Contessa's Sixth Sense. And Roger's Sixth Sense. So as The Others is not the same storyline, but it's the same premise. It's like a 180 at the end. What you thought it was really wasn't. And it has to do with life and death without giving it away for people.
Yeah, as you see it, but so we never know. We never know. All in my memory of my NDE, I was aware that people were here and that I wasn't, but I can't go back to that. I can't see it. So.
This is okay. So I have some videos, you guys. I had there. What is it? Do you guys remember? I'm telling you this week. I'm sorry. What did I say to you guys? I wanted to show you guys this video that I came across at the last minute earlier in the day today. If you remember what it is, great. If not, it will come back to me. I will show you it. But I do have some other videos. There was one actually. This is I don't usually watch Slap Tam. I liked that channel, but I always found there was so much B-roll that by the time he finally got to the video, it was like he had lost me. He's really changed it up. My partner Del's been watching a lot of his videos, and what he had out today is called The Scariest Old School YouTube Ghost Videos That Still Haunt Us. So I thought it was kind of cool. But I will put this up first. Viva La Vie says, my grandmother said the other side can be weird.
I'm going to agree because non-physical is weird. I mean, we call it other side or whatever, but just non-physical in itself is going to seem weird to us, I guess.
What I'm going to call it is it's not maybe what we're used to. Okay, in the physical world here.
What we remember.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it depends, right? And it depends, like I know from, people coming back from their NDEs, having looked at them for over 40 years, right? Everybody's had different experiences and what when they come back versus, yes, if you're earthbound and what you're experiencing versus, I mean, I've run into spirits, I think you have too, Dave, or we've heard about them as well, where somebody's died very quickly and very tragically, and they do not recognize that they passed. They still think they're alive. Well, your whole world has changed, basically, because nobody can hear you, nobody can see you, right? But you still think you're alive.
And they lost the essence of time.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Depending, I don't know if they have, because, well, I don't know. I've yet to talk to a ghost, though, that says they see day, night, day, night, day, night. They see like the same thing, I guess. It's very interesting. I mean, I think a bunch of mediums should get together and everybody should go into places and try to talk to the same place and just write it down away from each other and see collectively how much we came up with that matches.
Says Shannon says, I enjoyed Slap Ham at one time, but over the past, well, he's showing some videos that are obviously fake. Well, let's see. I did watch some of this. I didn't watch it right to the end, but I watched some of them. These are older videos. And the reason why I put a little bit more stock in older videos is because we didn't have deep fakes back then. We didn't have the equipment that we have now, right? Like the best way to document, I believe, paranormal activity, if you can get a roll of film and take pictures with an old camera or a Polaroid or older recording devices that can't be tampered with like they would be like nowadays if you were using like a digital form, right? So I thought it might be interesting. And again, if it's not, that's okay too. But they have some creepy stuff.
I just got to tell you something funny, Lorilei. Just because you know the person. You know the J person that I did some investigations with. Cannot be.
Well, I'm showing you guys.
We were at a plant. Okay, me and this, she's a medium. I won't say her name. That's tacky. But we were at this plantation in Virginia, which is very cool, and a very lovely lady who owns it. But anyway, we had this. I know they had all these people done an investigation in this place. It was way too small to have that many people. But we were all sitting upstairs around the banister that goes downstairs. And everybody's kind of waiting for the right time to take a picture. And we had a camera that didn't have a flash on it, just the picture, you know what I'm saying? So it wouldn't light up the room. She yells out, "Oh my God, it told me to take a picture." Mm-hmm. And everybody whipped out the phones and took pictures at the same time. And then they sat there for hours trying to go, is that a ghost or an orb? Like, no, it's the flash of the person next to you. Everybody took that entire room lit up and they wrecked the entire investigation. It was hilarious, though. I was laughing about it. I agree with you. If you get an old camera, that'd be really
too bad. Well, it's, but this is where these videos are coming from. Like, I know one of them, Delcia was yelling at the TV, "Quit moving the camera around." And I said, it looks like it was shot with a potato, but it was an older video. And I thought, you know what, this might be kind of interesting versus, you got to be judicious when you look at stuff out there. We talk about this all the time. Now, Viva La Vie says, well, when I'm close to death, I see a yellow house in a field with a dog that I've never owned in this lifetime. How do you know that dog wasn't from a previous lifetime, right? And you said, I know that when I enter this house, my time on this earth is done. Okay.
That's not a memory. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it could be a memory too. I mean, whatever you need though, but
yeah. And again, as I understand it from, like I say, I've been doing this a long time and I don't know everything, but with and when it comes to near-death experiences. But I also know, being a nurse and working in palliative care and being there at the end of life when people chose to, I always say, transition out of this life and go back home, as I call it. You know, a lot of people, right before they leave, they start talking about who they might be seeing standing at the end of the bed and maybe having some conversations. But you may also, I've heard some patients talk about they don't know who that person is. And then if you are lucky enough to have a conversation, I've heard it reported after the fact, they're able to explain it may have been somebody part of their soul group, but not somebody they incarnated with every lifetime. So they may not recognize them as they're leaving, but they do know them, if that makes sense. It just takes some time.
No, I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah, it does. Because there's a lot of people always go, I've had ghosts tell me certain, I've had spirits tell me they ran into certain people, and the person I'm sitting with, they'll be like, I don't know them. I'm like, oh, you wouldn't know them because they did the lives with them. So they know these people they're talking about. You know, they know you guys too. But yeah, Lorilei is absolutely correct. We don't come here with every single spirit we know.
No, we don't. So, and again, you know what? And I'm very happy that you shared your experience with us, Viva Lovey. Thank you, appreciate that. So I've got Slapped Hand. You said I've seen the house 3 times. Okay. Thank you for sharing. It. That's true. Don't have to go until you're ready, maybe. There could be other things behind it. And we've talked about dreams on this show. I'm not saying this is a dream, but what I'm saying, and again, I'm going to share this. If it resonates, great. And if it doesn't, that's okay. My sign for myself is if something shows up a couple times, especially if it's a close period of time, or if it's something very memorable, like what you're sharing, I pay attention. If it's shown up 3 times, I take that as a sign from my guides and my team that this may be something I may want to put more attention on and take a look at. My guides would never, nor will anybody's tell you what to do, but it's a sign for me to pay attention. What do you think, Dave?
No, that's true. Yeah, no, it's absolutely true. In fact, I'm like this with I realized in dreams, everybody else does, but when I have a dream that's really got a lot of symbolism in it, if I wake up the next day and I remembered literally thinking in the dream, I had a dream one time that had a movie star in the dream that I didn't know. I could not remember. I did not remember. In my dream, I thought about, gosh, I just can't remember who you are. I remember sitting there, stopping for a minute going, what movie did I think you're? I totally destroyed that. I guess you could say I was lucid dreaming at that point, but I didn't even realize I was lucid dreaming. But if you're having thoughts about something in your dream, pay attention to that dream, because that symbolism means something.
And the best person to interpret your dreams is you. And so, for example, and I have a whole pile here because I don't remember most of my dreams. If I do, I know they're because I don't sleep enough. I'm lucky if I sleep about 3 or 4 hours. And right now I'm lucky if I get an hour. So I keep this by my bed, and I just jot a few notes down before my feet hit the ground. And then if you go back through it, and you don't have to write an essay, but just write down some significant points, because most of us forget by the time our feet hit the ground. Some people, my eldest kid, and I know my partner, they'll tell me a dream they had like for half an hour and they remember every little detail. I know I'm not like that. So it helps you make sense of it when you go back. You may not make sense of it right then, but it may when you go back through it. So
that's what I do. I try to jot them down too.
So we've got Callum here at Slapped Ham and YouTube. Sorry guys, I didn't get a chance to download it, so we'll try and not get too many commercials. But I don't know, I thought it was kind of intriguing. And again, I was watching this, so I didn't get a chance to completely go through number by number. So if we find it's not good, we'll go to the next one. I'm just gonna put the volume on. Hang on.
We've got a curated massive list of some seriously freaky content today. So sit back, relax, and enjoy.
So let me break the paper, guys.
On August 2nd, 2008, the YouTube channel Ghost Watching uploaded a video that quickly gained attention. The footage was filmed during a Saturday morning writing lesson at a school in Kent. Janet Emmett and her daughter were taking their regular lesson while Janet's husband recorded the session.
Old camera.
Later that evening, while reviewing the recording, the family noticed something strange in the background. A figure of a man can be seen just a few meters from the spot where Janet was
cool.
riding. She claims she didn't notice anyone nearby during the lesson, which would have been impossible to miss if the figure had been there in person.
It's pretty
The
solid.
figure appears again in the recording, this time with its back turned to the camera. Many viewers believe the video is genuine, noting how the figure's appearance is too realistic and unsettling to be staged. So what exactly was captured during that riding lesson? For now, the video remains an unsolved mystery.
Here, I'm going to pause it, Dave.
I like the fact. These are my favorite. You guys, going back like 15, 20 years, that is my favorite video.
That's why when Del was watching it, I went, this is going to be perfect for tonight, because you're not going to see the trickery and all the things that
one, if you needed to debunk this, the only thing I can think of debunking it would be like, because it's an old camera, sometimes there is a bleed through, but this one looks pretty solid. And the fact that they said one thing makes me give it a little bit more, and that's that he changed position. So if it was an anomaly in the camera, like a bleed over, it wouldn't change position. It'd just be the same. So I'm going to say this is a bit more credible as far as I'm concerned.
And you guys feel free to put your thoughts in the chat as well. What do you think?
You do not have to agree with us. If you think it's fake, by all means, please.
Okay, so number 2. Hang on, we'll get it started here. Of course, never fails. We get Mr. Commercial. That's the only thing why I like to download.
I was going to for a minute, Lorilei, I was going to go, that one's fake. That's a fake alien.
On May 27th, 2011, YouTube user Derek's90 uploaded an unsettling video recorded at Texas Lutheran University. The video was initially meant to record a school tour for the uploader's friend who wanted to compare campuses before transferring schools. Just a few seconds into the footage, something disturbing is captured down one of the hallways. The camera reveals a shadowy figure, clearly visible, resembling a human form. However, the figure stands completely still, its presence seeming anything but natural. The uploader claimed that neither he nor his friend noticed anything unusual during the tour. It was only later, while reviewing the video, that they spotted the eerie figure lurking in the hallway. The footage has sparked debates among viewers, with many believing it to be staged or fake, while others are left questioning whether this was a genuine paranormal encounter.
Let me pause this. What do you think of that one? It looks like it was shot on a potato, like I like to say. Here, I'll take it off so we'll be full screen for a second.
That's a tough one for me. I'm not going to say nay, but I can't say yay yet either.
I can't either. It just makes me feel creepy, and when I get goosebumps,
it gotta creep, because there's another video. I'm going to find this video one, you guys. There's one video that I saw years ago. The one that sent a shock through my system. I was like, I really actually hope it's fake, because it was really creepy. And I'll see how I can find it. But that one, it's hard to say. I'm trying to go back and trying to remember 2011, which is kind of tough for me. But remember 2011.
Like we've always said, Dave, we need more contacts.
Yeah, more contacts. That's
kind of creepy. Like, just. And it could be faked. And I like I say, that's why I stopped watching Soft Ham. I do like Callum. I've followed him for years, but he used to put so much B-roll in there. By the time he finally got to the clip, it was like 1 second of the clip and, almost 5 minutes of B-roll with every video he showed. I do want to share, Julie Jean Bassett said, seeing something once or twice can be I don't believe in coincidences myself, but I
know what you mean, though.
I'm guilty of saying it, though. I'll say, must be a coincidence. Yeah. But 3 times is definitely a message. Yeah, I agree. So here, we'll put her back up there. Hopefully not another commercial. We also have to stop this with fair use for YouTube, too. You guys, that's what the breaks are about as well. So hang on. Let's see what the next one is.
On January 16th, 2011, the YouTube channel Paravids uploaded a spine-chilling video featuring potential paranormal footage. The clip, originally aired on CNN, covers eerie surveillance footage from Asheville High School, a reputedly haunted institution in North Carolina. The surveillance video, recorded on August 1st, 2008 at 2:51 a.m., captures something truly bizarre.
This is what you first see over here. Some folks have described it as, the shape of a child or something like that. Someone else who looked at it said, it looks like it takes a couple of steps.
It appears to show an unusual figure resembling a child taking a few steps before the motion-activated recorder goes off for a few seconds.
Mm-hmm.
Moments later, the figure mysteriously vanishes, only to reappear above an elevator. The strange apparition doesn't stop there. It can later be seen flying through the hallway, leaving many stunned. The school's PR director ruled out the possibility of it being a bat, citing the unexplainable angle of the shadow and the figure's distinct shape.
I'm a logical person, I think, and I wanted to be able to explain to these folks or anybody, this is what I think it is. It's a bat flying around up here and casts a shadow. But then why is the shadow down here from a different angle and it's not the shape of a bat? So
Martha Geithner, a teacher at the school, along with several viewers, believes the entity captured on camera is a ghost haunting the halls of Asheville High School and making its presence known.
It's a ghost. Of course it's a ghost. It's the ghost of some former student who's really angry with his teacher and has come back to get back at the teacher.
Okay, now that's
and
going
he's
a little
just
far.
making himself known at this time.
What exactly was captured on the cameras that night? Paranormal or not, it's a mystery that continues to intrigue viewers.
Okay, that was taking it a little bit far, I thought.
Yeah, when she said that was, I don't know what it was. I will say this. I know that I live near Asheville and I'm familiar with it. So does Nicole Thomas Ryan. And there's a lot of spiritual activity in Asheville, but I'm not saying anything about that video.
Mm-hmm. Well, you got to remember when it was taken, though, too. Did you see it was from 2008?
11.
Like, it wasn't recent. These are all older videos. That's why I chose this tonight if we had time, because they are older videos. These are not things that have just been filmed. Like, we're in 2025. What was that? Like 10, what?
Yeah, I was
years ago?
I was looking up, and this is interesting. So while you guys are watching these, remember this, because to me, 2011 is pretty difficult to fake something good. It really is. But they gave me but the stuff that you could use in 2011.
This was 2008.
Oh, that was 2000. Well, that last one was 2011, wasn't it?
Nope, 2008.
The grainy footage they said it's to do in there, which is that now in 2011 and up, they had Adobe Photoshop. So keep that in mind. But 2008, I think you're getting it difficult in 2008.
Plus, it's a security camera, and it was the middle of the night. Like, and I think I felt better about it with the principal saying I wanted it to be a bat. Like, I wanted to, like, he didn't come out and say it was a ghost, but you could tell that he kind of wasn't into the paranormal. Like, he wanted to be able to debunk it, and like he kind of said, the way the shadow was, he couldn't say it was a bat. So. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
the second lady was nutty. I'm sorry. I don't mean that in a bad way, but that's quite a story you put out there.
Yeah. When she said that, that's something that somebody says right before you go on a haunted tour.
No, that's kind of like everybody jumping to it's a demon. So right away she's decided.
She's decided it was a child demon. He's getting revenge for not passing that biology test. So
who's this entity going to get revenge on at 2 a.m. at school? Nobody's there.
I was going to say, that kid's stupid. That ghost is awfully stupid because there isn't anybody there at 2 a.m. to get revenge on.
Well, she's got a good imagination. Maybe she was a creative writer, teacher, or something, right?
Or maybe she just
I don't know. Here's the next one. Hopefully. Is it starting? Did I mute it? I muted it. Sorry.
It's not on the stage.
Did you say something, Dave?
Yeah, it's not on the stage.
I don't pay attention if you guys can to the date too. The only reason I knew the last one was 2008 because I really looked at it and I can see it really big here because I'm right on the YouTube page. But if you guys can notice the date or anything, let us know because I think that gives us a little bit of a place where to start with where the technology might have been coming in, where these videos were caught. So here, I'll start it again. There you go. It's a little dark. Right?
I can't see it. It's not on the stage. It's not showing up, Lorilei.
It's not showing up?
No, it's not showing up.
I hear you. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Why is it not? Oh, did I not? Let me start it over because this is an interesting video. I'm sorry, guys.
That's okay. I kept saying, did you bring it to the? I kept saying, did you bring it to the stage, Lorilei? Did you bring it to the stage?
I wondered what you were saying because I couldn't hear you. Okay, I'll go back a bit. I will bring it to the stage. Hang on, guys. I'm not my usual today here. I apologize. Okay, there we go. Hang on. There it is. Okay, let's start it over again. This is creepy. I don't know if it's real or not, but it's creepy.
Ghostly compilation video that gained over 5 million views, leaving viewers intrigued and unsettled. The video begins with the story of Jackie's house, a place where strange and unexplained events had been occurring. Cameraman Barry Conrad managed to document one particularly bizarre incident inside Jackie's home. A mysterious red liquid began oozing from the walls and dripping from the cabinets, convincing Jackie that her home was under the influence of an evil presence and leaving other residents equally disturbed.
I don't know what that is, but that's creepy.
A few days later, the activity in Jackie's house intensified. Unusual noises began echoing through the home, while objects and toys were thrown across the house inexplicably, creating a dangerous and chaotic atmosphere. Jackie explained how she believes that whatever force occupied the house wanted her family gone.
I try and tell them, whatever it is, it doesn't want us here, it doesn't want you here, it doesn't want me here, let's just get out of here.
Things took a dangerous turn when strange snapping sounds were heard coming from the attic. They decided to investigate, but the situation quickly became terrifying. Watch.
Jeff, please come here. Get this for us. Get the mic. Jeff, here you go, Lee. Here you go. What the hell happened? Are you okay, buddy? God, look at his neck. Jeff, what's behind your neck? I don't know. What's on my neck?
In the dark attic, an unseen force physically attacked one of the men. He claims that something like a cord was tightly tied around his neck and twisted from the back, suspending him from a nail.
Like this, I don't know how far, to what degree, but I know it was twisted because it was tied around my neck. And then it was hung up over the nail on one of the cross members that go across the attic.
The camera flash captured the horrifying moment along with the clear burn marks left around the man's neck, providing chilling evidence of the attack. Terrified by the series of events, Jackie decided that it was no longer safe to stay in the house. She left that night and never returned. The case has sparked countless comments from viewers, many of whom believe the story to be true. Some even shared similar experiences and advised to seek spiritual or religious intervention. In the same video, Real Vipal also shares another unsettling story from a house in Ohio, where the father of the family claims to have captured real paranormal activity on camera. The family had been hearing strange noises at night and waking up to find dishes and glasses broken along with objects moved around the house. To uncover the cause of these strange occurrences, the father set up a video camera to roll overnight.
Wow.
What the camera captured was truly disturbing.
This is 1993 or 93.
The footage shows a glass on the table sliding across it on its own, followed by an unplugged typewriter moving without any apparent cause. But the strange happenings didn't stop there. A chair near the table begins to slide away, and then a reclining chair at the back mysteriously rocks back and forth in slow motion. In the footage, there are also noises of the front door opening and closing by itself. Paranormal researcher John Osborne offers his take, saying he's watched the video countless times, but hasn't found any evidence of foul play. Next, the video covers even more chilling footage captured by a man renovating his house. The contractors had been complaining about damage and tools being moved around when they arrived each morning. Hoping to uncover the cause, the man decided to set up a hidden camera, expecting to catch the vandals. What he ended up capturing, however, was far more unsettling. Take a look.
Ew.
In the footage, an empty chair slides quickly across the floor, seemingly propelled by an unseen force. But what's even more shocking is a piece of sheetrock being pulled upwards and ripped away from the wall by an invisible, powerful force.
I just saw something come out from the bottom of it.
John Osborne believes there can't be a natural explanation to the footage since the piece of sheetrock is being pulled upwards, which wouldn't be the case if it was just falling down by the force of gravity.
If it were just falling, it would have fallen just straight down under the force of gravity.
Despite several theories, the video remains cryptic with no real explanation for the bizarre events.
It's weird. I'll stop it there because, of course, we got another. The first video. Oh, go ahead, Dave. Sorry.
I was going to say the one with the typewriter and all that one. I know it's 1993. That one's, I'm not going to say yes or no to because I can't prove it because it's 1993. But the thing is, from 1993, it just strikes me odd. Not that I know ghosts and every ghostly behavior, but why would a ghost do all those 4 or 5 things in a row? But who knows? Who knows? It's hard for 1993 because even if like the chair in that one, I like that one. The chair thing is creepy actually when it pulls.
Plus the sheetrock, there's something that comes down, like it comes down really quick.
Yeah.
The sheetrock goes.
The only thing I thought if the sheetrock wouldn't have been there, the sheetrock is what made me go, oh, maybe Dave, you got to rethink it. If the sheetrock wasn't there, I'm watching the chair over and over. It looks like it was pulled from the back left leg. That's the leg that came out first. I'm not saying it was. I'm saying if I needed to debunk it, but the sheetrock thing is what threw me off as well.
That first story, David, though, from 1993, like Roger Garza says, I remember this. And Skywalker Schadenfreude says, this is fun, though. This is what we do on this show. We talk about you guys want.
Yeah, we just want to see. I mean, we're just we're pretty much using our opinions on this, but hey, anybody on here, listen, if you take any one of our videos and you want to go down the rabbit hole with it, please bring your findings over to the thing at the front of the bed on Facebook, because we'd love to read them. I mean, I like trying to debunk some stuff, not to be mean, but just because, I mean, the reason we do this is to validate life after death, not to have someone watch a movie.
I'm going to say hi to Linda Miller over on Instagram. Thanks for joining us. We've got a bunch of people just popping in and out on TikTok. But no, this is why we started this show for people that are new here. We started this show because as working as psychics and mediums and in the paranormal, we get a lot of questions. And, you know, we thought, why don't we have a show that's very audience participative? And believe me, Dave and I have planned many shows with a whole bunch of stuff, but you guys want to talk about something different, so we do. And again, sometimes Dave and I don't agree. We might have opinions, but the thing is, it's up to you, if anything resonates, to take it further, take a look, do some research, make up your own mind. And what I was going to add, I'm going to read Shannon and Skywalker's comments, is that case, that first one in 1993, that was a famous case that has been documented, that like there's been documentaries made about it and stuff. I know the church was involved with that case. That was a crazy case. I've seen that video of that guy before with his neck. Like, you could tell, again, there's some pretty good actors out there.
That one was also on That's Incredible. I remember That's Incredible. Oh, good Lord, Shannon. How old are you, girl? Well, we're both.
Well, Skywalker says, I like sharpening my investigation muscle. And this is, you guys, none of us have the absolute definitive answers. I always say we're not going to know until we go back home ourselves, or leave this where, you know, wherever you believe we might go. I call it home. But the thing is, right, it opens a discussion and it's some food for thought. And if it resonates, great. And if it doesn't, feel free, put your comments and ideas and thoughts. Like, and we like to talk about all this stuff. So that's why we had our second anniversary. It was supposed to be at the beginning of January, but we celebrated it last Thursday. So we love doing this show, and that's why we started it. So, okay, you want to read Shannon's comment? Because I don't think
Shannon said the one where the guy was hung in the attic was on Matt's Incredible 8th and 9th. Yeah, it was a big story that was going around. I don't know. I mean, we could probably just Google it to see what happened to that story, but
I followed it and I've watched a documentary. She ended up moving. It was pretty bad. Now, La Vie, you said we could talk about the things we've seen in the hospitals. Now, I'm a nurse. I'm not working actively as a nurse. I've had a back injury, but I can tell you I am writing 3 books. One is my journey with my youngest son with autism. The second book is our paranormal experience. And the third one, and I've been collecting stories, is mainly from nurses, like what I did, and also from first responders, and the incredible, amazing, sometimes there's spooky things that we see when people transition out of this life and go onwards, or there's a lot of weird, crazy stuff that does happen in hospitals. But what I'm going to add to it is, we talked about this at the beginning of the show, you know, it's not always a positive place in a hospital. People have a lot of fear. There's a lot of sadness. There's low vibrational emotion in the hospital, and a lot of tragic things happen there too. And I believe that a building's earth, like the foundation, if you will, everything's energy. So I think some of those things can be held in place. I think that's why we see activity in certain places.
Yeah, I agree. That's especially like a hospital, because a hospital does represent death and dying sometimes. And for a lot of people, they don't know what we all know. So to them, it's very sad, and those linger in those hospitals. And so all that fear, what she said too. How many people go to the hospital? What are they fearing? They're always fearing something like that. So
what it is, Dave, is, you know, you're in a strange place. You don't know what's going on. You're usually ill. There's strange smells. There's strange people. You're not in your own bed. You may not know what's going on. It is a terrifying position to be in a hospital. And I recognize that, absolutely. Mm-hmm.
But you guys always said before, because I know even like when I work with my guides and I work with all that, the one thing that was told me is not without being asked, which means they don't want me to willy-nilly go walk up to people and tell them their life. It's like, no, you got to ask me the question. So it's very important. In order to get the answers to stuff, we have to ask the questions. So it's you guys ask away all the time. That's how we all come together. I know.
Going to add with your comment you had shared. I know you're not saying this, but it made me think of something. You would not believe the incredible stories that I have heard from patients, as well as read about it, about people anywhere from having just a blood transfusion to having organ transplantation. We could do a whole show on that, because it is incredible, the experiences, the memories, all kinds of things that happen with that, even with a blood transfusion. It's crazy. Like I have talked to people that will actually retain, sometimes it's some memories, sometimes it's allergies they never had. I mean, you can go on from the spiritual to the physical and onwards, and it's incredible, right? So that's just one other thing in the hospital, or you've been ill, that could happen. You want to read Kelly's comment?
Kelly says, I work at an old hospital that was used for TB. I used to go into the old morgue and hang out. LOL. I never felt anything, though. Maybe one day. Well, do you know what? It doesn't mean, listen, that doesn't mean that you couldn't feel it or anything else. I'm a strong believer on if you needed to feel it or needed it at that time, you would feel it. I think that's all it was. Because I would think, too, one person could go in and say, oh, this is a scary place, it's a morgue, and they feel it. And another person can go, I'm not really getting anything. It doesn't mean... Yeah, and it does. Oh, yeah, it happens a lot. It happens quite a bit. I've walked into rooms on investigations are like, holy cow. And then other people are like, what's going on? I'm like, you can't feel that. And so it's whether you are meant to. Yeah. We always say life is a kind of a build your own adventure.
That's what it is. I do want to say hi. Thank you, Instagram, for hanging out for us. Sometimes it kicks out after an hour. We've got William Holmes over there, and we've got Danilo Thrash joining us. So welcome. So these are the kind of topics we talk about. And again, you guys, that's why we started the group, because this, just so you guys know, if you're joining us, this network's been around for 25 plus years. We do broadcast in every country around the world, but 80% of our audience is audio only. So you may not be able to see the videos if you're listening or what. So that's why we post them in our group. We like show ideas. Heck, we post sometimes funny paranormal videos. I've got one even by the end of tonight. I thought it might be goofy to show just to have a good laugh. Like, somebody, if you're just joining us, somebody had shared an interesting video that sparked a really good discussion about what to look for. Like, could this possibly be a fake video? What's going on? Like I said, we talk about all kinds of things like this. Do you want me to
fall for everything? But we try to fall for everything. It's fun. It's more fun. But
well, we get asked, Julie says, we get asked these questions in this line of work. And again, like I've said at the beginning of the show, and we've said many times, Dave and I are not experts. None of us are, but we're going to share with you through our own experiences, what we've learned, the research we've done, and also what we believe we receive from spirit. And you just go on from there. And talking is the best way, I think, especially when we showed some of the videos we have. What are your thoughts? What do you think? Why do you feel that way? Right?
I want to know what made the noise next to me. I do. I don't know.
At first we thought it was your chair, but it wasn't.
Chair. No, it wasn't, because it sounded like a boing or something.
Yeah, it was a deeper voice.
It was low, whatever it was.
It wouldn't be the first time we've got EVPs. I've had EVPs.
No, Lorilei and I get them. Yeah. She gets them on her shows. We get them on our show. We get them. I've had them on my show. I made a video, but I have to say though, you guys, I made this TikTok video where I talked this whole thing about awakening in the shift, and it went viral a couple of days back. But everybody's like, there's always those people. Look at all the orbs behind you. Now, granted, I'm not going to say every one of them. There's a couple I looked at and I said, oh yeah, that's definitely not a piece of dust. But yeah, for the most part, orbs, listen, if you say orb to Lorilei and I, and we smile, it's not because we think you're lying, but orbs are very difficult to kind of figure out which ones are actually it. Because a lot of times, I will tell you, dust and small insects look exactly like orbs. You really have to investigate an orb.
I always say, and I was there at one time myself, you can tell where somebody is in their paranormal journey when it comes to talking about orbs. And I say that with no disrespect. I just said, and I'll repeat, I have been there before myself. And it doesn't mean that orbs don't exist. They do. But there's criteria. In our group, actually, I've posted from my own group, Paranormal University. I can't remember. It's one of the tabs at the top, but it's a lot of information about orbs and about how to sort of verify if it could possibly be an orb versus what Dave has mentioned. And again, it's just a place to start, so that, and once you get more experience with it, and like I say, I'm not saying this disrespectfully.
No.
Yes, it takes a little while, but I'm glad that you're looking and you're learning and you're
always learn. Yeah, because orbs are a real thing. They really are. It's just they're easily misunderstood.
I like that. Yeah, they can be. Yeah. So Shannon says, when I was in England, I walked into a castle. While walking around, I kept getting a feeling of dread and sorrow. Asked one of the workers what the castle was used for, and it was a morgue during World War II. I'm not surprised. Most of us have, not most of us, I'm going to back that up. All of us have abilities. Whether you believe it or not, we have intuition. Whether you say, I'm going to trust my gut, I'm going to follow my gut. I just know, I don't know why I know, but I know it to be this or that. We have these abilities, but most of us have been taught that as little kids, I believe all little kids can see spirit, just like animals can. And as you get older, we talk about it, for example, the proverbial imaginary friend. For people listening, I made the quotation marks because I never believe that little kids have an imaginary friend. I encourage parents to find out a lot more about this imaginary friend and what your child is experiencing, talking about, and so forth. Wouldn't you agree, Dave?
Yep. No, that's absolutely true. I know. I thought, now, you guys heard the old joke on how come every ghost is like from the 1700s and all that. It's because of the places we're going
It was
to.
the pirate, Dave. Sorry to jump in. It was the pirate thing. So we got to write. I'm going to write that down because I don't think we're going to have time tonight. Sorry, go ahead.
I'll quick say this if you want to play it real quick.
No. Go ahead because I haven't even found it. I don't think we're going to have enough time.
Okay. We'll do it the next time.
I'll do it.
I think it would be totally cool to go investigate a mall once it's been cleared out.
Oh, yeah.
Not for the joke of it, but there's, I mean, you might not get many ghosts in there, but boy, you are totally going to pick up on energy. Mm-hmm. And I am sure somebody's passed away in a mall before.
Oh, absolutely.
Or if it's not a ghost, you might see spirits there because maybe somebody goes, I missed malls, and they're revisiting it. You might see it.
Even what Shannon shared, just if you can, like I know our own mall here, if you go early enough in the morning, it's open for people to walk. So it's quiet. There's not a ton of people in there. If you're able to, without breaking any laws or causing any issues, if you can, go sit there quietly. And if you can, take a couple deep breaths. You can go to a quiet space and you don't look like you're a weirdo. Close your eyes and focus. Don't push it, but just be open and see what you're feeling. So I'm not surprised that Shannon picked up on the emotion. You'd be surprised what people pick up on, and they'll say, no, it's just my imagination. It's just, I'm being silly. No, you probably are picking up. And I'm glad that you were able to verify, Shannon, what you were feeling.
I think I was 18 or 19, I had a part-time job and I went and cleaned. I was a cleaner. So I would go drive to these places that were closed after 5 or usually around like 8 o'clock at night. And I would go in and wipe down all the desks and the chairs and all that stuff. I'd like to clean the offices for them. And I had this one place, and it was a factory, and it was really, really old. And I remember when I first went there, I didn't want to do it because I was really creeped out. But that place had lots of stuff in there. And I used to feel there's a certain part of this office stuff. I felt so much dread in it. I felt so much sadness there. And I'm like, I don't know what this is. Well, that area of the building, all those people had lost their jobs through something when this whole company shut down a long time ago. So that sadness was still lingering in there. It's just really weird. It wasn't scary. It was just very sad.
No, but I think we can pick up on that. And that being said, you guys, we're running out of time, but I want to address this comment because you made 2 about them. Vivra Lovey, the owner of the radio station. Are you talking about Joe Montaldo? I know Joe Montaldo very well. You're very, very good friends. He says would disagree with you about the psychic thing with everyone having abilities. And that's okay. I can't tell him what to think. He can't tell me what to think. Joe and I get along great, like absolutely fantastic. I've known him I've been here 6 years in July. We used to do a paranormal panel. So believe me, we have had many discussions about this. He is entitled to believe what he wants, just like we are. And
I believe that every day.
And so am I. That's why I wanted to point it out because I love Joe. And one of the things with Joe, if you know him, he always says, once I get to know you, if I don't teach, I don't like you. He winks, but he does like to good-heartedly tease people. I love Joe. And actually, Joe was the reason why we have this network. He broadcasts out of his house. He's created this wonderful space. And you can tell him, Lorilei, exactly what I said here tonight, and he'll probably laugh.
She said she was just having fun. Oh, I know what you're talking about.
That's what I said. That's why I wanted to put it out. I think it's awesome.
You kind of know what he's saying and what you're kind of getting at. Everybody has abilities, but some people are just never going to use them, nor do they believe them.
And that's okay too. Maybe they're not meant
to. Yeah, it's all you. It's all you. They're there if you want them. That's what I say. Come and get it.
So we are out of time, you guys. Fastest 2 hours of my week. I swear. I love doing it on the Angel Rock, but with 2 of us talking at the same time about the same stuff, it flies by. So Dave, you want before you guys go, if you're liking what you're seeing, please stay tuned for Michelle DeRoche and Amelia Pisano coming up with the second night of the Outer Realm. It's always an awesome show. Go ahead, Dave. You want to tell them where to find you?
Yes, and it's going across the stream. But if you ever want to get hold of me, you can. If you want to get hold of me, you can go to my website. It's theywhispertome.com. If you go to Substack and follow me, I am now putting all my writings in there. I'm putting writings about everything. I've been writing stories left and right, so I have them in Substack. I'm under David Hanzel. And then so you can follow me on in TikTok. I think I'm at 99.4K right now. I just got bumped up a bit. But you can follow me under Spiritual Medium David Hanzel. You can also follow me on Instagram under the same thing. Our group, The Thing at the Foot of the Bed with Lorilei Potvin and David Hanzel. Please go ahead and join that. Know this. Lorilei and I will never, ever, ever private message you to ask you what your sign is and say you need a reading. We don't play that game. If you want to get hold of us, we just told you how. Go ahead, Lorilei.
And if you ever want to get a hold of me right now, at the moment, you can get a hold of me on Facebook.com/Angel Rock. If you want to book I do psychic readings, mediumship readings. I do Akashic Records. I do crystal Reiki, works with your chakras, and it's a type of Reiki with crystals. I work with your energy field, all kinds of things. I'm going to be working more on animal communication. Also, Julie and I, little monkey wrench with me getting sick this month and other things. So we will be working closer together, but I am still doing my course. I guys promised you it was supposed to be in March. It may not be till about the end of April-ish or May. But I'm working with, sorry, I had an interruption there for a sec. Sorry. I'm working with a very close friend of mine, one of my best friends, Leanne Clark. She's incredible. We're working on the course together. So when we have it all together, I will be under a domain name, including all my resin and everything. If you ever want to join two of my groups, I have Paranormal University for all things paranormal, the Angel Rocker Tribe for more things spiritual. And again, our group like Dave and I do together. So I will be back on... Otherwise, you can also get a hold of me on all social media. I will be back on Monday, 6 o'clock Eastern Standard Time with the Angel Rock. Sorry, guys, I forgot to check who's coming on. It's going to be someone fun. We always have fun guests. And otherwise, Dave and I will be back next week, same time, same space. So stay spooky.
Stay spooky, you guys. And we'll try it again. 1, 2, 3. What's at the foot of your bed?
Your bed.
Oh,
every time we screw it up. We're trying to get this on time.
Yeah, we're trying to get it on perfect. We'll see if it happens one day. It'll be a miracle.
It will. Thanks for hanging out with you guys. We'll see you next week. Okay. Same time, same space. Stay tuned for Michelle and Amelia next. All right. Have a good one.